can't f***ing look at myself without being disgusted. Like, what the f*** is that, bro? Ew, like, you're so gross. What's the fuck wrong with you?
Is she good?
What's wrong with you?
Where's everybody? Welcome back to YouTube channel. As we all know, Gen Z, we are now the new adults. Well, we've been the new adults for a little while, but the youngest part of Gen Z is finally growing into adulthood. And there's a little thing I've been worried about, and that is what we are reacting to today. That's right, guys. Today, we are watching Gen Z is losing their minds. So without further ado, I say we get straight into it.
I can't f***ing look at myself without being disgusted. Like, what the f*** is that, bro? Ew, like, you're so gross. What's the fuck wrong with you?
Is she good?
What's wrong with you?
See, at this point, you just gotta log off, man, because we live in a vapid day and age where people are so socially addicted to social media that it's gotten to the point.
I'm not gonna lie, that's sad. To a point where you gotta look at yourself and just be like, ew, I hate how I look. I hate you. That's like, I don't think I've ever been that low in my life. For me, I have to be seeing my face all the time because that's my content, you know. I have to be on camera. When I'm editing, I see my face. When I'm making the thumbnails, I see my face. But never do I ever say, Jesus, you're hideous. Ew, you're disgusting. You look like a weirdo. No, never. In fact, I always, uplift myself because self-love is better than no love. I'm always talking about something. You so handsome. Look at the little small progress you're doing. You got muscle coming in. Yeah, that's my boy. Never, to a point where I would cry just to look at myself in the mirror. And I feel like that's a mental illness. Like that's deep. You can't you don't say that on the regular basis. That comes from somewhere.
It's gotten to the point to where the constant compare and contrast of other individuals online is leading young women like this to being completely disgusted with themselves. Like, this is not healthy. It's not normal. And I don't know if this is just rage bait or clip farming, but she looks to be a little teary-eyed and I don't know, man. I don't know. She genuinely looks sad. And I gotta say, this is a form of mental illness induced by obsessive social media use.
What's wrong with you?
Bro, people gotta log off, man. Top comment says kind of effed up for everyone to just be pointing and laughing at mentally ill young Gen Z kids, to be honest. Locked inside their homes or their rooms for an entire year alone during COVID and mind effed by—
Okay, that is true, We probably been in our house more than any other generation. Heck, I never go outside. That's my biggest problem. I'm basically dealing with what they're dealing with. I never go outside. Never have tried to look for a girlfriend even though I want one. That's the problem I'm also dealing with. But still, we can't just act like we aren't able to get out of that situation. Now, yes, if it becomes a mentally ill thing and you physically need help, then yeah, that's different. But I'm talking about the people that are in my situation. We acknowledge that we're inside and we don't want to do anything about it, That's the kind of people I'm trying to address. And that is the fact that we have a choice. At least for me, if I'm somewhere I don't want to be, I'm not going to let the, environment change me and turn me into the rest of the people in that environment. For example, whenever I go to family gatherings, everybody drinking, I personally don't drink, and I don't have a reason. It's not like I do have a little reason, but it's not like I'm hardcore religious, no, I just don't want to drink. So I don't let that, like, the peer pressure get to me. I don't let the outside factors, oh, come on, here comes, you're at a party, they're doing like the, the drink, chug, they come to you, I'll say I decline, call me lame, call me whatever, I decline it, because I don't let the environment get to me. When I'm in social media, this whole thing is basically my job. I'm making videos, making TikToks, Instagram Reels. People will always have something to say, but that's why I don't let it get to me. I'm always laughing at the comments when they're calling me job. They're calling, dude, you're a grown ass man. Like, that's what makes me laugh, because I don't take the internet seriously. I work the job outside of just my room. That's when I really realized, I'm like, hold on, this internet shit ain't really, it's not what people make it seem. And I see other people, oh, they said this about me on Twitter. Oh, they said this about me on TikTok. To me, I'm like, I don't really care, to be honest. I barely even use those apps. I could care less what they got to say about me. I'm having fun making videos, talking to the people, raising awareness on certain things I really care about. Because for me, mental health is a very big thing, especially for men. You know, I personally have dealt with people that have, you know, they gone through with the actions, if you know what I mean. And it's not easy. It makes me cry when I can't help somebody. So I like to bring awareness the only way I know, because I'm not a professional. Disclaimer, I am not a professional. This video is just coming straight from my opinions, only for informational and educational use only.
Not sure how anyone can help either, but damn. And this was the logical conclusion of this pandemic, the large experiment of isolating people, especially developing kids.
Quick intermission. Sorry guys, but we are so close to
800
subscribers, and I really want to be able to reach it. So I thought, if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, I will shave my head. That's right, guys. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you guys subscribe. Anyways, back to the video.
It's the last time you guys are seeing me.
Baby, we're not the same. You cut yourself because you're sad. I cut myself because I'm bored.
What
See?
the fuck? She says, you cut yourself because you're sad. I cut myself because I'm bored.
Okay.
Clearly mentally ill.
Some of y'all just got too much freedom. You know what I'm saying? This is the people I was talking about. You have a choice, and you're using this as a choice? No, you're doing this for attention. Because you came on here, you saw that video, you wanted to stitch it. You wanted people to know why you do it. And that's because you want attention. You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that if you really were bored and just doing it to do that. No, you wanted attention.
Not sure if she's in college or not, still in high school. But this is crazy, man.
Letting my anger out on inanimate objects so I don't fucking kill myself.
Yo, what is wrong with this girl?
Bruh.
Where are
And the
her
sad thing
parents?
about this is not only is she mentally ill and probably does this stuff in real life, but she's also doing this for internet clout and
Yeah.
attention. Like, she seeks her validations from the internet. The love, the validation
Like,
that she doesn't get from her
yeah.
IRL family and friends, she's seeking through the internet.
Like, how do you help this person? I mean, take her to therapy, you know, engage with her, make sure she feels loved and attention. But you got to be careful, because if this person is one of the ones that just have a void inside and they just try to feed it, but it never ends, that will consume you as a person. For example, if you are, you know, you're trying to help this girl out, but she has a void inside, all she's going to do is take all your attention, all of this, and once she got it all, you're exhausted and tired, she's leaving you behind. I'm not saying that's how she is. I'm talking about be careful when helping some people. Some people have that void inside, and they don't really care after you can't give them what they want. I'm not saying she is one of these. I'm just saying, if you're doing something like this for attention, you know, there's got to be some sort of level of, oh, I want it, you know. You're crying about your life, but it's like, oh, I kind of want this. Though, I do want to help out this person. So if she's, you know, she's doing well or she has finally gotten help, I am so glad. I don't know how to feel about this. Okay, hitting your...
I really don't know why any of this needs to be recorded. What the ultimate purpose is outside of trying to go viral.
Here are my New Year's resolutions. Find a new drug to use. I'm tired of marijuana. Cut myself more.
See?
Yep.
This is why we need an influence like me. I am Gen Z, and I am one of the only people that seems to be against drug use and against any of the bad influence. You know, I'm not a role model. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to talk like that. But I know people can be influenced by what I talk about and what I, you know, do. So I want people to at least take that from me. You know, if you're watching my videos, obviously you probably just have me on a cute video on your list. You know what I'm saying? This is just to fill in space. But if people can take anything from my videos, it's definitely that I want you to live a good life. You know, I'm not going to tell you if you smoke, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. No, that's your choice, you know. But for me, personally, I'm never going to do it, and I'm going to advocate against it. If you do it and you do watch my videos, hey, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hate on you. But just know I am against any sorts of use, regardless if it's harmless or not.
And it's sad to say that this young lady right here is the perfect example of what a lot of other young women are going through right now, like mentally ill, social media obsessed, looking for validation, physically harming themselves, drug addicted. I mean, good God, how is the population full of people like this, or adjacent to this at least, supposed to carry on the country? Like, we're cooked. And then on the flip side, you have other Gen Zers literally using hammers to potentially smash their face in for higher cheekbones. Davidson on Twitter says, Zoomer looksmaxxers are literally bone smashing. And where do they learn this stuff from? Online social media communities obsessed with looks. They're smashed.
Like, I don't even know how you get in this point, because I've been close to it, but whenever it was first starting, you know, we're talking 2020 to 2021 to 2022, I was really in this, the whole looksmaxxing, you know, all that, but I was never, you know, doing the dangerous things, because I would tell myself, if they're doing that, it's dangerous, so why would I do it? You know, I'm only going to take the good stuff that I can physically do out of them, and do it to myself. And hopefully I have a picture of me on screen, but this is how I looked in 2022 and this is how I look now. You know, there's probably videos playing on me, or I'm just using this footage as the new me. But yeah, man, this is why I also want to be a good role model for the people that watch my videos. So when I do blow up, I got people actually, you know, seeing that, oh, I'm a young man, I don't know what to do, but this guy's telling me to, you know, do this, do this. But when they watch my videos, I'm letting them know, it's like, hey, it's okay to have flaws. It's okay to be, you know, who you are. Just make sure you do, if you're going to do stuff like this, make sure you do the things that are safest and the ones that only apply to you. For example, if you know you can lose weight by just running, don't take Ozempic, don't take Grotto, don't take all this. Just do it. Do that hard work. I know it sucks and I know you won't notice it instantly, but trust me, it is better than doing nothing. I mean, look at me. If you told me in 2022, when I showed you that image, I could look like this and in 4 years, I would never believe you. I'd be like, hold on, damn, I had a glow up. And that's because I just kept on pushing through. I just kept on going. I kept that reason to live. I kept on pushing. And now I'm here and I'm more positive because I took care of my mental health first before I got into the whole making, you know, YouTube videos and streaming. I still get tired, but I don't get burnt out anymore. That's why whenever I make videos, I space them out between Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That way I have time in between, just relax, just play, and add to my gaming channel. You know, that's all I do. I'm just having fun. I enjoy my life. I know when it's enough, and I stay away when I want more.
They're smashing their cheekbones with a hammer to create microfractured induced growth so they can look like an extreme cold adapted ancient northern East Asian, and you're blackpilling. And by the way, that was a description of a man who looks like this. Yes, like I think Mongolian or, you know, mountain people of like East Asia, Tibetan type people, you know, adapted to cold environments. This was posted in the comment section.
2 areas right here.
Oh god. Like, dude, you look like Shaggy, but in a good way. Like, you already got down the jaw and everything. I promise you, if you went outside, you could get any girl. Now, obviously, you gotta put in the effort. But hey, he's just like me. I literally don't. Yo, I'm giving advice I wouldn't even do. But the coaches don't play the game.
I'm just gonna be doing a shorter version.
Nah, I can't watch that. I'm gonna skip.
Ladies and gentlemen, like the previous girl before that I showed in the first part of this video. In the second half of this video, this guy is mentally ill. I gotta say, this is also mental illness. I mean, just look into his eyes, man. There's nothing there aside from trying to fit some kind of arbitrary social, physical standard of which he feels as though that he needs to fit. Like when I was a kid, when I was this...
we can't really blame him though. Like, yes, this could be considered you know, mental illness, but it really comes down from validation because they're young. You know, the way I see business people is if you can sell to children or young teens, you are the most profitable person in the earth. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes them dangerous, is because if you're a content creator and you do steroids and you do this, you're in the fitness industry and you know you have young men watching you doing all that, they're gonna want to try it too. And if you're not, you know, saying, hey, this is bad, don't do it, they're still gonna do it regardless. That's why I feel like it's important to have role models in the internet that are just positive, because if these young, you know, people are falling for, you know, the regular, oh, why can't that be me? Oh, but at this certain age I gotta have millions of dollars. Oh, I might have to open an OnlyFans as soon as I turn 18. That will only ruin their life more, and it could lead to worse things, you know. That's why I feel like we need more positive people on the internet, and I hate how only hate is getting shined on the internet. Because I've been there, done that. You know, I was one of the early people that got into it, you know, 2020 to 2022 to 2023-ish were the worst years of my life. I somehow locked in on school. Ever since that day, I became so much happier, so much optimistic, because I went through all that bull crap. I hated my, you know, I've went through that phase. But now that I know what they're going through, I want to help them before they can get to a bad place.
He's probably 16, 17, 18 at max.
Like,
maybe he's in college. I don't know, but nobody was thinking about this before 2020, bro. Like this, where did this come from? Was there anybody online literally?
Even if they do want to become their idols, they're still young. So that means that they can't get like the idol. For example, let's say they're watching, who's the fitness guy I know? Sam Sulek. I don't know if he still posts, but that guy, I know him from like back then. So him, imagine they're watching him. How old is he? Like 24, 25? If he's that old, you got 17 and 16-year-old kids. They're like, damn, I need to get like him like in a year or something. That's not possible. That's physically not possible because you're still a kid. You know, your body's still growing. your brain's still growing. Did you know your brain only stops growing at the age of 25? Yeah, so apparently I am wrong. That is a myth. It can be up to 32 or something. Like, nobody really knows when it stops growing.
Was there anybody online literally taking hammers to smash their faces in to potentially get higher cheekbones? And if so, what are the results of that? Clearly, it's going to be asymmetrical because you're not applying the same constant amount of pressure, smashing your face in to get microfractures to get this bone growth. It literally makes no sense. But alas, social media, mental illness, hyper extreme communities, focusing on physical looks and materialism and all this bullshit has led us to this point in society.
That's the problem that Korea has, is that they're pushing all this, oh, you got to be beautiful, you got to be very skinny, to a point where everybody over there, that's all they're hyper focused on, and it's sad. You know, I think you should be able to love yourself for who you are, how you were born. You don't have to look like this person. Like, for me, I don't think I have any idols. I genuinely became my only idol. You know, the way I view my life is the way I would view, like, as a viewer, as a fan, you know, oh, what am I doing today? Oh, let me check my stories. Now, you can call that egotistic, you know, I'm always checking, or narcissistic too. But I don't really take the negatives out of, like, those words. So I don't know how to explain it. But I'm basically my own fan.
David Sun said, we should raise the voting age to 25. Yes. At this point, genuinely speaking, I don't want the majority of Gen Z voting. I'm sorry. After the prefrontal cortex finishes developing, brother in Christ, can we stop parroting this flawed scientific study where people only went up to the age of 25? There's no science backing the full completion of the prefrontal cortex by 25.
Yo, until my shit is fully developed, I will not be touching anything before I can make a conscious and smart decision.
In fact, the science says it can even extend well into your early 30s. But I understand the sentiment. People like the girl that I showed and this guy right here should not be voting in our elections at all. Also, thank you. Goth Miss Frizzle. She highlights your brain never stopped developing and your prefrontal cortex being done at 25 is a myth. I'm glad more people are starting to speak up about this because it kind of, like, for the longest time has been used to kind of, like, strip people below the age of 25 of, like, accountability and, like, knowing right from wrong, as if they're just incompetent.
I don't
and if so,
do that.
that's
I
the
don't
case.
strip them from accountability. I actually tell them, it's like, hey, you know, this is your fault. It could have been because of a choice you did when your brain was developing, but it was still your fault.
They shouldn't be able to vote or do anything else important in this life until 25, so pick your poison. Also, I found this quoted tweet. I think this is a quote from the Rat Utopia experiment where basically, oh boy, here's the lore. Some rats basically were put in a controlled environment by this scientist by the name of John B. Calhoun, and they were given everything they needed: food, water, temperature controlled environments, unlimited breeding rights, etc. And eventually, from this lack of needing to survive by going out and hunting and doing everything else that natural creatures would do on their own, and having everything literally handed to you, it basically destroyed the rats, basically destroyed their psyches, and putting creatures like that are meant to be wild and have purpose.
The same goes for us, because for me, you know, I hate having a job, but man, did I love the schedule it gave me. You know, I loved being able to interact with people and making me more, you know, extroverted, maybe feeling more comfortable outside, you know, just talking and, you know, getting the vitamin D from the sun and everything that came with it. I was genuinely more happier than, you know, whenever I wouldn't have a job and just record videos. Now, I'm not saying I'm not grateful for this job. I am. But I just know if I was able to have a job, it would make me more happier than just have what I wanted just by making videos.
Putting creatures like that are meant to be wild and have purpose outside of a controlled environment, aka like, artificial unnatural societies. It basically, to sum it up according to Google, led to catastrophic social collapse, termed as behavioral sink, characterized by extreme violence, withdrawal, and maternal neglect, ultimately resulting in population extinct, demonstrating how overcrowding and intense social stress, not resource scarcity, destroys complex societies. And that is the perfect reflection of the society we live in now. An overabundance of everything with no purpose, regulation, and everything basically handed to you ultimately leads to a plethora of mental illnesses. Also in this
that's why I kind of don't want to blow up yet. Like, as a YouTuber, I don't really want to blow up as much, because it's like, I see my life as a movie. I want to go from the starting point to the climax and the falling action, you know, all that stuff. But I want to do it slow. I feel like I'm the underdog coming up in the fight. You know, once I hit the climax, that's when I made it. But I don't want to hit that climax when I'm still in my 20s or 30s. Because then I'm going to be like, well, I kind of already got the money. The money was never the problem. You know, the money, I never really cared about it much. I just wanted to record videos and have fun. So what do I do now? You know, I have a big ass house. I never leave the house. What do I do now? You know, my money's just there. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of my 50 years of life, you know? That's why I never want to get to that point where I have everything. Yes, I want to be financially stable, but I don't want to have enough money where I can just buy everything. That's what I'm trying to get at.
There were a group of rats
This is
in the
why I like
population
the
of rats in
story
this controlled
rather than
experiment
the
called
ending.
the Beautiful Ones. And they were a group of male mice in John B. Calhoun's Universe 25 experiment who withdrew from all social interaction, focusing only on eating, sleeping, and grooming in overcrowded conditions. Now, who does that remind you of? Looksmaxxers. Leading to societal collapse even as the population peaked and eventually died out, demonstrating severe behavioral breakdown from density. Calhoun's utopia, designed with ample food, water, and nests, became a behavioral sink where the beautiful ones represented a failure of social roles, ultimately ending reproduction and causing the colony's extinction, a concept he linked to human over.
See, this is why I can't end up dying alone, yo. I need a wife and kids before, yo. Oh no, this is bad.
Now, I'm not entirely sure about the human overpopulation part, but I will say though, we are going through this part of the rat utopia experiment in the human population where people only care about eating, sleeping, and grooming themselves. Nothing else. The
Literally.
endless chase and desire of comfort, leisure, luxury, and looks. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're here. And especially with big cities and the overcrowdedness of everything,
I'm
and
glad I live
social
where I
media
live.
being everywhere, ads being everywhere.
Like for me, if I was like, yes, I'm trying to seek a level of luxury, but I don't need millions. You know, I don't need billions. I just need enough where I can just buy a house out in a farmland or something, you know, take my family, you know, maybe have a girlfriend, then marry her, so we can have kids there. That's all I really want. I'm not looking for nothing big. I don't want no big car. My dream car is literally just a 2007 Chevrolet Camaro from Transformers, you know. That's all I want. I just want Bumblebee, and I'm a happy man. That's why I know when I have enough is enough. You know, I'm not, once I reach a certain amount of money, I'm not gonna try to push this YouTube channel that much anymore. You know, I'm satisfied. I'm good. I don't need no more. I'm just doing this for the fun of it now. Even though I'm still doing this for the fun of it, I'm just not making any money now.
Inflation and lack of, like, it's just, yeah. I know I went on a bit of a tangent in this video, but hey man, I think we might be cooked.
Well, that is the end of the video. You guys, let me know what you guys think about this. You know, if you guys have any problems, just let you know this is a free space. I can and will help y'all if you guys need any. Or just if you guys have any solutions or a way to help out in a societal form so we can help out all the young people that are struggling or trying to find a way up and they don't know where to and are ending up in places like the black pill, or you know, women, you know, their own black pill version. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't yet, so you guys don't miss out on any more future uploads. And you guys actually join my group of people, you know what I'm saying? I am their personal therapist, philosopher, you know, I am the thinker for these people. When they have a problem, they come to me and I gladly help them for free. You know, no payment, no Patreon, no nothing, for free. All you gotta do is subscribe. Anyways, that is the end of the video, and I'm gonna go check up on my mom, probably give her a hug, and see you guys later. Goodbye.